Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with the final video of today for the Silence and the Fury. This time we'll be dedicating ourselves to all the big beasties. The Beastmen are of course one of the main focuses of this DLC, and they've come with a lot of Charlemagnes. Many monsters which the fanbase has been asking for since day one of the release, so let's take the time now to look over them, check out their stats, when we can recruit them and so on. First up we have the Doombull, a new Lord character for the Beastmen, because if you're gonna go full cow in this DLC, you might as well be able to have a Lord leading it too. The Doombull is very much like Torok's Light, a Minotaur Lord who's there to punch his enemies to death. Heavily armored, armor piercing and a melee expert, he's there to do damage and he's going to be able to do it. There are no prerequisites to recruit Doombulls, the only thing you need to have is a available army slot with the Beastmen, as we know that those are rather limited. The majority of the Doombull's skills are that which you can expect from any other Beastmen Lord. All the usual buffs and bonuses are there as expected. However, there are some unique skills which obviously Torok has access to, where he can buff up his own melee defense and then the melee defense of all Minotaur units in that army, or he can pick instead to be able to cause terror and then buff up the damage output of all Minotaur units. You get an element of choice here, which means that you can then decide as to what type of playstyle those Minotaurs in that army will have. I've never really heard of defensive Minotaurs, but hey, there's a first time for everything, I guess. The Wargor is a new melee hero for the Beastmen, armored and shielded, armor piercing, anti-infantry and no forest penalty. He can also mount up on a Tuskgor chariot, a new chariot unit, or a Ghorgon chariot. Now, you might be wondering why you might recruit this over, say, the Doombull, and that's simply because the Wargor itself is kitted out for different things. The Doombull is mostly focused to do damage, yes. The Wargor, on the other hand, is a damage-dealing unit, but its main focus is something else. CA's implementation of the Wargor harkens back to that of the tabletop, where the Wargor was mostly used as a battle standard bearer. Here you're going to have 4 different options which will provide a load of different bonuses, from making Bestigors much stronger by giving them Encourage and also Vanguard deployment, causing fear and also allowing for Chaos Warhounds and Harpies to cause fear, giving Tuskgor Chariots fear or Ghorgon Chariots terror, to increasing replenishment and spreading corruption. The fact is, this character is very versatile, so having different Wargors in different armies will be very useful. Also, do take into account that some of these buffs do have prerequisites. For example, the Bestigor buff works at its peak when you don't have your character mounted on a chariot, so do make sure you know what you're picking. And before that, let's just check out how the Doombull and the Wargor do damage against the trash zombies. Recruiting Wargors will require the tier 3 Ghor building. It's the same one which allows you to get your Ungors, your Ghors, and of course your Bestigors. It won't take long until you can actually get that, as it's a tier 3 building, and I would suggest it as they are pretty useful, especially if you're playing with Khazrak, who does favour Bestigors in his armies. Tuskgor chariots are a lighter form of chariot when compared to the Ghorgors. Lower tier and admittedly not as good, but then again for a lower tier unit that you will get early on into your campaign, it's always useful, especially since chariots are one of the best skirmishing cavalry units because they can go straight in, do some damage and get out quickly due to the fact that they have a low unit entity size. Armored, anti-infantry, and armor piercing, they are pretty good at what they do, and you might end up using them quite often. Recruiting them is quite quick, as their building is available from tier 2, so you're not going to have to wait that long. And it's also the same building which gives you access to Centigors, so you've already got some incentive there. A new Centigor Regiment of Renowned unit has been added in, Grogwolves of Wolfron. Armor-piercing missiles, very fast, vanguard deployment and poison attacks. They are actually quite useful, and they've got a little bit of a feel of them as they're quite pale, so you can attribute them to being very Sineshi, though I think this only serves to the fact that we still don't have Gorus Warhoof. Rest in peace. The Jabberslythe finally makes an appearance in Total War Warhammer, a monster that I've been personally waiting for since pretty much the announcement of Game 1. This disgusting monstrosity is armor piercing, anti-infantry, causes terror and poison attacks, and also does damage over time to anything near it. There are two versions of this unit, the standard one that you can build a Doom stack out of, and of course a Regimental Renown one. Both of them are very useful in the battlefield and are very good at dealing with hordes. In fact, I am going to show you a clip now where they will bash in some zombies. The Jabberslythe will take a while to recruit. It's a tier 5 unit, meaning that you're going to have to wait a while if you're going to be building up your hordes. Hordes are admittedly a lot faster to build up though with the Beastmen if you get lucky with certain events. The footage I'm showing here is actually from around turn 36 or 37, so it's actually not that far away, it's just I put my money into other stuff as I was going full cow. Finally, of course, we have the Ghorgon, a very well requested unit. I honestly can't count the amount of times that this unit was featured in a post in either the Reddit or the forums. Anti-large, armor piercing and causes terror, but also able to regenerate in the battlefield so you can keep him there and let him do his thing. This big boy likes to do damage and rip apart anything that stands in its way. There are of course two versions, the standard one that you can doomstack and of course a Regimental Renown version. The Bloodbrute Behemoth looks more like a Cornet version, and then again Creative Assembly have been showing a lot of favoritism to the Blood Gods, so why not? Like its non-renown version, it does pack in a good punch and can do a lot of damage. Again, this is another tier 5 unit which can be recruited at the same time as the Sigor, so at least you're getting two big beasties in the same building. Let's just watch some Gorgons wallop on some zombies for a small while, shall we? But that's all the Beastmen units that will become available to people who have purchased Silence and the Fury on July 14th. There's a lot of big beasties here and a lot of Charlemagnes, so which unit are you waiting for the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very soon. Have a good day.